Movies. All are subjected to a runtime. Whether it's 2 hours or 20 minutes, the time we have watching something eventually has to end. So when directors set out to make one, they tend to shoot more than need be, leaving scenes at the discretion of editors. To them, they're like puzzles. If one scene doesn't fit just right, everyone's gonna notice. Sometimes this leads to entire sequences being cut, and ultimately leaves behind deleted scenes. Whether bad or good, deleted scenes always seem to be justifiable and in most cases disrupt the tone or pacing of the film. But today, I think I've found an outright crime of a deleted scene. One that had the potential to make an already good character great. Watch.
Remarkable. The last I saw of that ship, she was on fire. A blackened hulk sinking beneath the waves. We had a deal, Jack. I contracted you to deliver cargo on my behalf. You chose to liberate it.
People aren't cargo, mate.
If you don't already know, that was from Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. If the scene seems familiar, it should, as the same scene was in the final cut of the movie, but without that conversation. What I think makes this exchange of dialogue so special is how many layers are peeled off of Jack's character with just 4 words. To reflect, up to this point in the movie, we know Jack's a drunken pirate trying to settle his debt with Jones, but we still don't know what I like to call the why factor. The why is a character's reasons for why the way they are and their motives, and in some cases, answering of this factor has the potential to tarnish the mystery surrounding them. For instance, Star Wars tells the why of a character to much success, as Luke Skywalker reveals Darth Vader's true identity behind the menacing mask to be a scarred man. This doesn't serve to diminish the character, but certainly serves to humanize him in his last moments, and shows just how quickly someone that you thought at one time was invincible is just as vulnerable as everyone else. So when it comes to Jack, what makes the telling of his why such a difficult feat is for the same reason that makes a character interesting in the first place. That being the mystery surrounding him and the playful, unpredictable force of nature that comes along with it, that seemingly makes everything go his way in the end. Sure, from time to time we get a peek behind the hat Jack hides behind, but it's those 4 words that manage to do more character building and breathe more life and depth into Jack than any of the movies before it and after it ever do. It's from those 4 words alone we learn the origins of Jack's iconic pirate insignia and transforms his character as not just a voluntary pirate, but one forced into it. It doesn't clear up the mystery of Jack, but rather builds on it and provokes audience members to ask more questions, while simultaneously speaking miles about the type of person Jack is, redefining the audience's perception on him, as many previously, including myself, would believe he'd do anything to chase the next pile of riches, as this subversion of Jack's actions also helps to build his unpredictability. Not to mention, with the help of Depp's acting, he develops a moral compass for Jack that has not been created before, and not to mention, with just 4 words, it's a master class in drawing the line between what the character knows is morally right and wrong. These views Jack has on slavery marries Beckett so well as it helps further the rivalry, making his actions towards Jack's defiance ironically responsible for Jack's own creation. Even more ironic is Beckett's why, which is the death of Jack, but in the most Jack Sparrow way of how things turn out, he needs Jack as much as Jack needs him, repeating the cycle of accountability for one another again. Throughout the movie, we consistently see as he tries to control people in the form of Davy Jones, Will, and most importantly, Jack himself. But it's with Jack in the scene learning his origins that complete his eventual win over Beckett and Jones. As just like he freed the slaves, he now has to free himself from servitude. Jack is condemned for what he does. Every action he commits, every deal he makes, and everything he's done up to this point is all thanks in part to one action he made. It's great world building, it's great character building, and would have been World's End's cherry on top. But sadly, the scene was cut. Now, if a finger had to be pointed as to why they cut the scene, it was probably in part to the mention of slaves. In the time period Pirates takes place in, slavery was a prominent source of profit in the Caribbean, and Disney, being targeted toward a family audience, definitely did not want this type of origin story on their big budget flick. This leads to the origins of Jack to be explained in future installments, and to my standards considered watered down and a blatant disregard for the source material from the previous entries, dare I say ruining Jack's character. Sadly, there doesn't even seem to be an end to the horizon in Jack's story. With talks of a potential reboot and both Disney and Depp's egos continue to fight it out, us as audiences are left on the sideline, waiting for the next time we could see the swashbuckling pirate we all know and love. Besides, What's Pirates of the Caribbean without Jack Sparrow? My name is Carlos Arroyo, and thanks for watching.